Well, folks, welcome to another Friday fishing forecast, and unfortunately it looks like this weekend is going to be a little bumpy on Saturday, a little bit less bumpy on Sunday, but it's still going to be a little bit windy. It looks like the waves offshore are going to start dying down a little bit on Sunday, going from 3.3 down to 2.3, and about an 8-second to 6-second wave period. So it's not going to be rough, it's just going to be very rolly. So if you're going to go offshore, I would probably recommend, well, I wouldn't probably, I would say if you've got the boat to do it, I would do it on Sunday instead of Saturday. Saturday is going to be a day after a front pushes through. It's supposed to be pretty cloudy, so it might keep the bite pretty good if the clouds stay where they're at. If it clears out and it goes to blue skies, then it might cause a little bit of issues. Those fish are going to shut down because that high pressure builds in. But that front is supposed to stall just south of us, so it might help turn on the bite. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about the sheepshead bite has been pretty good. The snapper bite has been actually pretty good inside the bay if you can get out. That's the problem. We've had a lot of wind lately, and it's going to continue down that track. We're getting front after front after front, so it makes it harder for us to get offshore. We haven't fished since just before New Year's, or just after. I can't remember. It's been a little bit. So I know my guys are getting a little itchy, and we've talked about doing a couple of different things. But overall, it has been difficult to get out, especially offshore. If you fish inshore, you can find areas to fish out of the wind. So if you have the opportunity to do that, then I would recommend doing that on Saturday if that's the only day you can fish. Now let's go ahead and talk about the tides and salooners for this weekend and what we have in store. On Saturday, we have a negative low tide at 9:11 a.m. at a negative 0.9. Then we have a high tide at 4:04 p.m. at a 0.9. And then another low tide at 7:30 p.m. at a 0.7. On Sunday, we have a negative tide at 9:50 a.m. at a negative 0.7. We have a high tide at 4:29 p.m. at a 1.0. Then we have a low tide at 8:50 p.m. at a 0.6. For the salooners, we have a minor feeding time from 8:54 a.m. to 9:54 a.m. Then we have a major feeding time from 1:58 p.m. to 3:58 p.m. Then on Sunday, we have a minor feeding time from 9:33 a.m. to 10:33 a.m. And then we have a major feeding time from 2:52 p.m. to 4:52 p.m. So as you can see, there's a negative low tide late in the morning, which me personally, I love negative low tides, especially fishing inshore, because it bottles up those fish in certain areas. So if you can go along in the flat and look for activity like birds, like mullet and things like that, you can definitely find the fish because they're going to stack up in these holes and they have nowhere to go. So if you can get to them, I highly recommend just taking your time, finding an area that you can get your boat in and know that you can get back out, and you can definitely get on those fish. Now also, fishing in canals is a big thing this time of year because those fish push into those canals to get into warmer water because it has more of a mud bottom, and they have the docks that retain the heat and the rocks, the riprap and things like that. So if you're wanting to fish for sheepshead, snook, redfish, trout, those are good places to look for. Is the residential docks over on the St. Pete side, Apollo Beach, down on the Big Manatee River, on the Little Manatee River. So those are definitely areas that you want to concentrate on, or backcountry areas. If you typically where you wouldn't fish during the summer, I would look this time of year because those fish push way back in the backwater areas to get to that warm water because of the darker bottoms. Again, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's come by the office and come by the bait shop and bought bait from us. We are continuously have live, especially live shrimp. We have live pinfish right now. And so we'll have that through the weekend. So if you're looking for your needs for bait, you can come to us by land or by water. If you're fishing in the Little Manatee River, you can definitely stop by. We have everything you need: ice, drinks, food, everything. So if you're looking for live bait and looking to make a one-stop shop, you can definitely come and see us. I'm going to be planning on I've got another video that's going to be coming out here shortly I'm also going to be doing some videos. I'm going to do a two-part video. One is going to talk about preparing yourself to fish an inshore trip. What I look for in tides, what I look for in salooner periods, what I look for in wind direction. It all plays a key role of what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for if I'm searching in a new area. I use Google Earth to look for different types of transitions, oyster beds, things like that. So I'm going to do the first part on that, talk about inshore fishing, and then I'm going to do the second part, preparing myself for a trip for offshore, because it is completely different when you're preparing for those types of trips. Again, I want to say thank you so much for watching. We really, really appreciate it. Fish more, catch more, and we'll see you on the flip side.